Baby, I don't know who needs to hear this, but God said he wants to co-parent with you. Will you let God step in and co-parent with you? Far too many times we're expecting the other parent to show up, and when they don't, we feel abandoned. Yeah, we feel really abandoned because how could you leave me with this child? Now, this message is not specifically for a single mother, a single father, honey. I'm throwing it out there, and whoever gonna get it, you better catch it. Because God said, I never said that they were a part of your future. I never said that they were a part of that child's future. I was reading up on Hagar, Sarah, and Abraham, and I said, oh, this is some love and hip hop type of stuff. Sarah with her jealousy. Some of y'all are dealing with the person that you're supposed to be co-parenting with. They're dating or they're married to somebody that's jealous. They're married to somebody that's jealous, and it's hard for you to co-parent with that person. It's hard for you to have a relationship with that person, or for that person to have a relationship with their child. Some of y'all are dealing with people and y'all don't understand, right? We see first where Abraham or God told Hagar to go back to the house. Go back to your mistress when she was pregnant with Ishmael, right? God will allow you to have that baby. There was drama before anything ever started, right? But God said, you gonna go back. You gonna go back to your baby daddy. I need you in this season to go back. And you don't understand, or your baby mom, you don't understand because you wanted to leave. You don't understand why you had to stay, but God instructed you to. Then we see where they wanted, Sarah wanted Hagar to just leave the town. I need you gone. I don't want to see you no more. Abraham was torn. And a lot of people we're co-parenting with, they torn. You would think that the answer would be, no, Abraham, you got to sit here and you got to raise both of your kids because Abraham loved Ishmael. These are both my sons. When God instructed Abraham to listen to his wife, I was flabbergasted. But then I understood. I said, it's because God is doing something. God is setting up that child's future. And right now, it does not include Abraham. Right now, God has to shift Hagar and shift Ishmael. Right now, what God is doing for their future is going to be completely different. And sometimes it does not include the people that you think it's going to include. Sometimes what God is doing for you actually only happens when the other person is not there. So God is saying, you feel abandoned like Hagar did. I'm going to tell y'all what I thought was so beautiful, that Hagar was the second woman that God revealed himself to. And every time Hagar cried, God showed up. God showed up for her twice. If she was just a maid, if she was just a woman carrying that baby, if she didn't matter, God would have never showed up. Absolutely not. God would have never presented himself. And you see that when it comes to Eve, she was the first person God presented himself to. She was the first woman. That makes sense. When you think of Hagar being the second, it shows how chosen you are. God sees you. That's what she heard. The first time she went crying into that wilderness, God sees you. God sees you. And God sees you with that child. But God said that other person is not included in the child's future. What I'm about to do for this child is not going to include this other person. So right now, I need to co-parent with you. I want y'all to understand that it was a beautiful thing that Hagar not being in the vicinity of Sarah and Abraham, or not being connected to Abraham, the father of the nations, it didn't mean God wasn't going to bless them. God had spoke that thing. And God had already said what was going to come about. Oh, this little boy going to be blessed regardless. Oh, he going to be blessed. Don't worry about what I'm going to do to him or do for him. He's going to be blessed. And a lot of our children, God has made promises before they were even born. God said that one will be blessed. And sometimes we seem to think that okay, well, this other person has to be here. God said, I'm going to be there. When Abraham couldn't do anything because God instructed him not to. And when Sarah was all in her emotions, honey, jealous, Hagar still went to God, and God said, I still got you. I still got you. When Hagar felt like she didn't have anybody, God said, I still got you. And that's how you have to be in this season with that child. But God wants to co-parent with you. I've been co-parenting with God for a year now. And more, really for a year, but like in the past couple of months, probably like the past 5 months, we've been like this. When I tell y'all, my kids, they don't want for anything. This is the most my kids have been, I feel, provided for. This is the season where the same is going to happen to you. When you stop trying to force somebody to co-parent with you, and when you start saying, you know what, instead of thinking I'm abandoned, I'm alone, God is saying he sees me and I can let you go and I can let you off you ain't got to do this no more. I got to a point where I told the father of my child, I'm relieving you of your duties, because you didn't want him anyway, but that's okay, because God wanted. God wants to take care of me and my child. God is begging me to look for him for all the things that I need when it comes to my children. And God is saying the same thing to you. You need to begin looking for God. Look to God for those things and not the other person that you're co-parenting with, because the other person that you're co-parenting with is the person that's not supposed to be in this child's future. God said the promise that I made, it does not include this person. The miracles that's about to happen in this child's life, it does not include this person. Sometimes, I seen a woman say, sometimes the best parent is an absent parent. When you have something taking up a space, right? And I've learned this through spirituality, period. How can God put something there? How can God place something there? When we sit back and we say, oh my God, I want a spouse who can step in and who can love my children the way I love my children, who can take care of my children the way I take care of my children. Well, how is that going to happen when there's somebody already filling in that space? Who's doing a half-tailed job, who's doing literally nothing, who don't come see the child, who's not there physically, they're not there emotionally, they're not there financially. What are they doing? Nothing. God said, but if you allow me to co-parent with you, I will do everything. My kids are having the best Christmas they've ever had because God is their father. And I made a list, and I told my kids to make a list. And the whole time my kids thought they were making a Christmas list for me. And I explained it to my kids, because we had the conversation about Santa Claus too. And I said, this is what happens. God knows your desires, but we're going to write it down. We're going to make it plain and simple. You are going to make a list. You're going to give it to me. And if God sees fit that you have this thing, God is going to deliver it. God is going to make it happen. God is going to provide me with the resources so that I could go get it for you. And even my kids, my little kids understood that. But we have to get to that point where we say, God, I trust you. I've been hoping for this other parent to step up because my child needs this parent. God said, no, they don't. All y'all need is me. My child need this other parent to show up when it's the father-daughter dance and the father is not around. God said he don't need to be. All you need is me. All you need is me. And we have to get to that point. But there is a single parent out there who is struggling right now. And it could be financially, but I feel like a lot of it is emotionally. It's time for you to make a covenant with God, or for a promise, and say, hey, God, I promise to let you take care of my children from here on out, to co-parent with you when it comes to this child. Because y'all, this is where we get mixed up at. We're not supposed to depend on man. We all know that, but at the same time, when we think about the things that we want, oh my God, I want a mother figure for my daughter, I want a father figure for my son, we begin to think that it has to be the person who helped me bring this kid into the world. It's not going to be that person. God said, but I got a person perfect for you. But first, what I need you to do, I need you to learn to depend on me. I promise y'all, things will begin to shift when you depend on God and when you co-parent with God. God will make a way out of no way. God is going to start providing for them children better than the other parent could ever have. It will amaze you. You're tired because you're holding on to something that's never going to happen. You're stressed because you're expecting a person to show up and expecting them to take care of their responsibilities, and they keep showing you that they don't want to, regardless of the situation. God said, if you give it to me, give that child to me. Sometimes, y'all, we got to give our child to God. Give your children to God, because God wants to be the father and God wants to co-parent with you. And I will sit here and tell you right now, that is literally the best thing that I have ever done. And once you begin to do it, you will say the same thing.